Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Moose and today I'm bringing to you my updated Cyberdark deck profile after testing and after the release of such a deck, Cyberstrike. Honestly, I think this is one of the best times to be a Cyberdark player or a Cyberdragon player because they've just gotten so much new support in this deck and this new boss monster is amazing. So combine that with a couple of tech options and a few new engines, I think we've got something really good here. So let's get into the deck opening, but if you like the video, make sure to leave a like, leave a comment telling me do you agree with my deck building choices or do you think I'm a total deck building novice? Up to you, just let me know, and make sure to subscribe if you like the video for more content like this. Let's get into the deck profile. So, getting into the actual deck profile, right? You start off with a fairly simple Cyberdragon engine. You're just playing 2 Cyberdragon and 2 Cyberdragon Core. Right? Now, Cyberdragon Core is actually a really good starter in this deck because it can actually search out your Cyber spells and traps, which includes your Cyberdark spells and traps. So, as a normal summon, Core is not the worst. I would have liked to play a slightly bigger Cyberdragon engine, but since we're focusing on the Cyberdarks here, honestly, focusing on the Cyberdarks turned out to be a much better decision. Everyone knows what Cyberdragons can do, right? Cyberdragons themselves did not change that much from this deck. You could say Cybernetic Horizon is a really good card for them, but to be honest, I think Cyberdark's got a bigger boost here, so let's get into it, right? Cyberdark engine. First, playing 2 Cyberdark Chimera, the new card in Cyberdarks. It's absolutely brilliant. When this card is on the field, you can discard a spell or trap, add Power Bond from your deck to your hand, so it's a searcher for Power Bond, and even though it locks you into Dragon or Machine Cyber monsters for fusion material, if you are going to fusion summon, you can banish from your graveyard as well. So if you're going to Power Bond, you can actually use machines in your graveyard or dragons in your graveyard as material, which is really, really good. And if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can actually just send another Cyberdark from your deck to the graveyard as well. So pitching it for Cybernetic Horizon is actually not a bad idea. Then 2 Cyberdark Claw. If you pitch this card from your hand, you can add a Cyberdark spell or trap from your deck to your hand, which is quite nice. And if this card is sent to the graveyard while equipped to a monster, you can target a Cyberdark monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand, so it's a nice recycle. Then you got Cyberdark Cannon, which if you pitch it again, you can add a Cyberdark monster from your deck to your hand. Also, if this card is sent to the graveyard while equipped to a monster, you would just get to draw a card. And if a monster equipped to this card battles, you can pitch a monster from your deck to the graveyard, which is really nice. Then 1 each of the original Cyberdarks, Horn, Edge, and Keel, rounding off our Cyberdark package. You only really play 1 in there. You're only playing in total 9 Cyberdark monsters because honestly the main thing is just to pitch them off turn 1, as many as you can, and get into your fusion plays, right? And then we go into the Cyberdark actual spells. So you're playing 3 Cybernetic Horizon. This card is crazy. You can send 2 Dragon and or Machine Cyber monsters with different attributes to the graveyard, 1 from your hand, 1 from your deck. So if you've got a Cyberdragon in your hand, you can pitch a Cyberdark from your deck, and then add 1 Cyber monster from your deck to your hand, either Dragon or Machine, and send a Machine Cyber monster from your extra deck to the graveyard, well, Fusion monster. So, if you've got a Cyberdragon or a Cyberdark in your hand, you can pitch that, pitch the other attribute from your deck, add 1 to your hand, usually you're adding a Cyberdark that you can pitch again to add more to your hand, and then you can send a Cyber End Dragon to your grave, just like that, and have your Cyberdark End Dragon online immediately. Then you're playing 3 Cyberdark Realm. When you activate this card, you can add a Cyberdark monster from your deck to your hand, so it's this nice searcher for the deck, and it gives you an extra normal summon of a Cyberdark monster, which is really, really cool. In terms of fusion spells, you're going to play 2 Overload Fusion and 2 Power Bond. Power Bond is searchable, and Overload Fusion you're really not going to be using more than twice. So the fact that Power Bond is searchable makes it really good in this deck because you can now use graveyard material for it as well, essentially making it Overload Fusion as well. Then in terms of Cyberdark traps, you're running 2 Cyberdark Invasion. This card you can use each of these effects once per turn, but if you've got both copies out, you can use both effects in the same turn. So you can either equip a Dragon or Machine monster from either graveyard to a Cyberdark effect monster you control and boost its attack by 1000, and you can send an equip card you control that's equipped to a Machine monster, you can send it to the graveyard, and pop a card your opponent controls. So if you've got 2 of these out, you can equip and pop, or equip and pop. It's really, really cool. And if you've got Cyberdark monsters out with equipped cards, particularly Cyberdark Dragon, which just uses materials as number of attacks rather than, for protection or negation. You could just add one with Cyberdark Dragon and then pop with Cyberdark Invasion. It's really pretty cool. Then in terms of your good stuff spells, you're just running 2 Triple Tactics Talent, because this deck can still be vulnerable to interruption. You want to be able to protect yourself and go off even if you've been hand-trapped. In terms of staple traps, you're just running the 3 Infinite Impermanence. Number 1, it's got, Cyber Dragon on it, but also it's really good in terms of just disrupting your opponent going second. You can disrupt their plays as well, and if you're going first, you can stop their columns. Then we get into a bit of the spice engines, because for now we've just been talking about, Cyber Dragons and Cyber Darks and generic good stuffs, but let's get into the spice. So, 3 Nadir Servant, 2 Ecclesia, 1 Fleur-de-Lis and 1 Maximus. Yes, you are playing a Dogmatika engine in here. It synchronizes really well with fusion decks, and since Nadir's Servant itself says for the rest of the turn you cannot special summon it from the extra deck, that's pretty good, because, to be honest, you can combo off completely, then go Nadir, get Dogmatika things out, and just combo off from there. Now, to be honest, I'm still considering whether or not to run Punishment. I'm not quite sure whether it fits in the deck really well, because this deck doesn't need its extra deck, so I'm not sure how good Punishment is, but I'm going to trial it over the next few days, and I will get back to you. And then the last 3 cards of the deck, right? We are on 37 cards at the moment. Red Eyes Fusion, Dark Magician, and Red Eyes Black Dragon, because yes, we are playing Dragoon. Like I said, this deck is vulnerable to hand trapping and to getting its combos interrupted, so Red Eyes Fusion and the Dragoon package just helps in terms of making sure that you can still go through on something end of turn 1, even if you can't go through on your complicated plays, just go Verte, make a Dragoon, and go from there. Getting into the extra deck, starting off with your fusion monsters, you're running 2 Cyber Dragon, because you can pitch it off, Cybernetic Horizon. You're not really going to use it in terms of hard fusioning it, because it's really not great. I'm also not running any Cyber Dragon Infinities or Cyber Dragon Novas in this deck, for the simple reason that you're not really summoning Cyber Dragon all that much. I don't have Galaxy Soldier in this, so that could, be a thing if we get more Galaxy Soldiers, but that's more for a Cyber Dragon light focused deck. We are going more towards the Cyber Dark things here, so it doesn't really fit, right? 1 Chimera Tech Overdragon for overload fusioning if you've got a Cyber Dragon and some Cyber Darks in grave, but not enough to make a Cyber Darkness Dragon. 1 Cyber Dark Dragon, you can pitch it off Nadir, or you can send it with Cybernetic Horizon. Honestly, this card is inferior to Cyber Darkness Dragon, but it has one big advantage. If you have a Cyber Dark and a Cyber End in grave, you can just overload fusion them out for a Cyber Dark End Dragon, because it uses the 2 of them as material. Whereas Cyber Darkness Dragon can equip Cyber End Dragon from the graveyard, which Cyber Dark Dragon can't do, but it requires 5 Cyber Dark monsters, so you kind of need a lot of grave setup there. Luckily, Chimera, if it's sent to the graveyard, pitches a Cyber Dark from deck to grave. Cannon and Claw can pitch themselves to get you Cyber Dark cards to hand, so getting 5 in the graveyard, not that difficult. Cyber Dark Dragon does need the original 3, the Keel, Horn, and Edge, but you're hardly ever going to hard summon Cyber Dark Dragon. More Cyber Darkness Dragon, and then lastly, 2 copies of Cyber Dark End Dragon. And this card, I cannot overstate how good it is. It is crazy good. Honestly, the fact that you can fusion summon it or special summon it by attributing a level 10 or lower Cyber Dark fusion monster that's equipped with Cyber End Dragon, this deck really works towards that, right? So you want to get Cyber Darkness Dragon out, equip it with Cyber End Dragon, and just get it off the field to get a Cyber Dark End Dragon. This card is unaffected by any activated effects from your opponent, so even if they use Ice Dragon's Prison, they use Schism, they use anything like that, they can't get this off the field. The only thing that will get this off the field is if they attack over it, or if they get a Kaiju on it, right? And once per turn you can equip a monster from either graveyard to this card, and they can't stop you from doing that. And this card can attack a number of times each battle phase up to the number of equip cards equipped to it. So the problem is if you don't have any equip cards equipped to it, it can't attack, but if you've got 2, can attack twice, 3 can attack thrice, etc. And honestly, it's a 5,000 attack beta that's unaffected by your opponent's card effects, activated effects at least. It's a house. You don't really need much more than that to be able to use it well, right? Getting into the Link monsters, 1 Secure Gardener, 1 Almirage. Secure Gardener works really well with Power Bond. If you go into Almirage, Secure Gardener, then Power Bond, you don't take the damage at the end of the turn. Nightmare Phoenix just for generic spell and trap removal. Appaloosa, because sometimes you can swarm the board but not have fusions, so, you know, you kind of want to protect yourself and disrupt your opponent. And Bottle Sword Dragon for just, you know, closing out games even if you don't have the fusions. The last 3 cards in your extra deck, Titanic Light the Ash Dragon, you can pitch this off Nadir to get your Dogmatika cards to hand in the end phase. Predator Plant Verte Anaconda, which honestly is invaluable in this deck, even excluding Dragoon, because even though you're only using it to pitch Overload Fusion if you're not running Dragoon, getting Overload Fusion without having to hard draw it is really good, because then you can actually go into the Cyber Darkness Dragon. Even though you can't make Cyber Dark End Dragon that turn, you do get at least a 6000 attack point Cyber Darkness Dragon if you have a Cyber End in grave already. And lastly, in your extra deck, the Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, because sometimes, you know, you start off quite slow, you haven't gotten everything in grave yet, but you have enough for a Verte and you just want to do something with it. Then lastly, getting into the side deck, running 1 Called by the Grave, 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, 2 Cosmic Cyclones, so you've got 3 removal spells, 3 Dark Ruler No More for going second, 3 Warning Point. Honestly, this card is crazy. If you use it against something like Invoked or any card that has any deck that has a 1 card starter, it's actually just incredible, because it runs so well on most 1 card starters, because they can't even Synchro, Fusion, Xyz or Link Summon with it. They can't get it off the board unless they Tribute Summon. Most people are not Tribute Summoning on the same turn that they normal summon. So, then going into 2 Ice Dragon's Prison. If your opponent is playing something that can't be destroyed by card effects or targeted, Ice Dragon's Prison is a nice way to get rid of it. And then if your opponent has established boards that you need to get rid of, you play Evenly Matched, 3-of. Going second, this deck struggles to go up against established boards, so you are playing quite a lot of cards that can just, you know, disrupt your opponent's board. So you're playing the Dark Ruler No More, the Evenly Matched, all those kind of things to try and make sure that you can combo through your opponent's established boards. If you can do that, you should have a high likelihood of success, because, honestly, Cyberdark End Dragon coupled with Dragoon, these 2 cards are just crazy good together. If you can make a board where you have both of these on board, there's very little that your opponent can actually do there. Like, you've got a negate, you've got a card that's unaffected, it's just crazy good. So, yeah, I think this deck is really good, and honestly, I'm excited to play again for the first time in a long time. I was getting really tired of playing, and I found this deck, spent some time making a profile, and now I'm excited to play it again, and just to figure out the new possibilities for Cyberdarks. If you guys do want to see me make a Cyber Dragon profile, or get you in on that Cyberdark Chaos profile that I was talking about, I can do that. Just let me know down in the comments. Well, now that you guys know what I'm playing, what do you think of my Cyberdark Dogmatika deck profile? I think it's pretty good. I think it actually runs pretty well. In testing, it did pretty well. Honestly, I ran this as a Chaos Cyberdark profile at locals yesterday, and it was okay. I was still learning the combos, because I literally came in an hour before locals, bought the deck, and looked in my collection to see how can I actually make this playable. So I didn't really do any testing, but since then I've done quite a lot of testing, checked it out, refined the combos a little bit, and I think it's been really good. So, what do you think? Do you think this is actually going to work, or do you think that this deck profile can be improved upon? And if you do, let me know how. But thanks for watching, everyone. Make sure to leave a like if you liked the video, leave a comment down below telling me what else you'd like to see me do, and make sure to subscribe for more content like this. Thanks everyone, see you next time.